The Nintendo Switch 2 has been out for a little over a year now, and initially Sonic on the Switch 2 was something I was really excited for. It's been no secret that pretty much every Sonic game on Switch 1 runs like
There's a two-pack of ass!
So the prospect of getting portable Sonic games that actually run well was pretty cool. However, Sonic on Switch 2 has been pretty lacking for multiple reasons. The main reason is that a majority of the games haven't been upgraded. There are 9 Sonic games that were released for Switch 1. Technically 11 if you count Sega Age's Sonic 1 and 2, but who actually bought those? That's besides the point. However, only 3 games have been upgraded. Sonic X Shadow Generations, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and Sonic Frontiers. However, it's not only that a few games have been upgraded, the quality of those upgrades aren't the greatest. Cross Worlds is by far the best Switch 2 port. It runs well, there's an upgrade pack, it has all the same features as the other versions. The only problem is that the physical game has not only the ugly Switch 2 edition text, but also the ugly Werehog promotional image, making it easily the worst looking Sonic physical game in a while. However, that doesn't compare to Sonic X Shadow Generations and Frontiers. There are numerous things that suck about these ports. For one, these games are on a keycard. For those who don't know, game keycards are physical games, but instead of having the game have the data on the cartridge, it only gives you a license to download the game. While game keycards aren't as good as full physical games, I don't mind buying them as long as it's a game I really want, because they're not the worst things in the world. However, the thing that actually is a big deal breaker to me is that both SXSG and Frontiers don't have upgrade paths. If you own the Switch 1 versions and you want to upgrade the game, you have to buy it all over again, and that is genuinely incredibly scummy. And in Shadow Generations' case, it's even worse, because Shadow Generations doesn't include the digital deluxe content like Frontiers, and the Shadow Generations portion runs subpar with it looking pretty blurry at times. This made me wonder why they would go back to a keycard for Frontiers, after they just course corrected with Cross Worlds. And then, I had a eureka moment in the shower. My personal theory is that Sonic X Shadow Generations failed on Switch 2, so they decided to course correct with Cross Worlds. Full physical, upgrade pack, the whole shebang. However, if I had to guess, Cross Worlds on Switch 2 didn't sell that well, because Cross Worlds already failed to meet Sega's sales expectations. However, Cross Worlds on Switch 2 came out months after the game came out on other platforms, so I'd have to assume that the game sold insanely poorly. So when it comes to Frontiers Definitive Edition, they didn't care to put it on a full physical, since doing that is more expensive, and they just put it on a keycard. When it comes to the upgrade path thing, I don't know, maybe Sega thought they'd get more money from suckers if they didn't have one, which honestly sucks. You'd think Sega would be willing to lose a few bucks in order to avoid the negative press, because that's only going to cause less people to buy the game. Hopefully when it comes to Sonic games on Switch 2 moving forward, Sega will do better. But honestly, Frontiers Definitive Edition shows that the future is not looking too bright. But anyways, that's all from me. See you guys later. Peace.